Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today we are going to be reacting to a video by another YouTuber. It's going to be an anime video. It's going to be one of Swagkage's videos and it's called Dissecting Itachi Uchiha. It was requested by one of you guys, so I'm going to be reacting to it today. I hope you guys do enjoy the video, and also don't forget to go check out Swagkage's channel and give him a like and subscribe if you do enjoy his content, because I'm going to be using his content in my video. Also, I want to watch a lot more anime videos. Somebody suggested Seth the Programmer in the comments. If you guys have any other YouTube channels that do anime content, let me know and I'll go check them out. I'm going to be reacting to a Seth the Programmer video very soon. If you have any suggestions, let me know in the comment section below and I'll get to that as well. Or you can suggest Swagkage videos. Either one works for me. But anyways, without further ado, let's get straight into this reaction to Dissecting Itachi by Swagkage.
Guys have been asking me to do an Itachi character dissection, and I can totally understand why. He's one of the most beloved characters in the entire series. Pretty much everybody across the whole fandom likes this guy. But why is that? Why does everybody like Itachi so much? Well, obviously I can't speak for everybody else, but me personally, I really appreciate Itachi's complexity, and I can totally get on board with his moral code. A big issue many people have with many of Naruto's characters, specifically its antagonists, is that most of them have pretty questionable motivations, and the moral code that they operate under is very shaky or flimsy at best.
Yeah.
This is, at the very least, how they seem at the surface level. It's very easy to interpret Obito, for example, as a deranged psychopath out to rule the world solely because he got friend-zoned by Rin. Many of the things that I personally believe about Obito aren't outright sounded characters. Typically, Naruto's morally gray characters aren't written very subtly. I've found that you can generally categorize most of the antagonists in this series under one of two categories. Characters who are very clearly evil and have pretty grounded or selfish goals like Hidan, Kakazu, Orochimaru, Sasori, etc. Or characters who are morally gray but have world-changing goals in mind, aiming to do something ridiculous by completing these grandiose schemes and turning the world into a utopia. Madara, Obito, Nagato, and even Sasuke at the end of the series all fall under this second category, and I can see how to some people it's hard to look at these guys as human beings as opposed to shonen antagonists because of how ridiculous their motivations are. Then, on the other hand, you have Itachi, a morally gray character who has very grounded goals. Just keep his little brother safe and protect the Hidden Leaf Village. They're very simple goals, and it's very easy to get behind them. The things that Itachi wants to accomplish are a whole lot more relatable than the things that many of the other characters in the series want to accomplish, and it makes him feel incredibly human by comparison. And one thing I think I need to get out of the way immediately is the fact that Itachi was 14 years old when he wiped out the Uchiha clan, and 17 or 18 years old when he beat Kakashi in part 1. This is very important.
I thought he was older.
And it's a fact that I think a lot of people miss because it's not pushed very hard in the series at all. Itachi's a young kid, barely any older than I am. And even in Shippuden, by the time he died during his fight against Sasuke, Itachi was only 21. This adds an entirely new dimension to his
He had a short life.
I'm sure many of you imagined Itachi was much older than he actually was. It's one thing to imagine.
I thought he was like 25 when he died.
Forced to wipe out their entire family and being ostracized from their village for the sake of its own safety. But imagining a kid being tasked with the same thing is an entirely different issue. Not only does this make it pretty much impossible to hate Itachi, but it adds an extra layer of tragedy to his character that wouldn't have otherwise been there, especially considering his personality. Itachi was a very quiet and nice kid, one who harbored no ill will toward the outside world, and despite being one of the greatest prodigies in the history of the world, Itachi still somehow remained humble and didn't develop a sense of arrogance. The Itachi Hiden books go into greater detail about his personality, and show that despite the fact that he was an introvert, he genuinely cared about the well-being of everybody he knew. Both these novels and the main series also make it a point to inform the audience that Itachi is a pacifist and doesn't like to fight, despite how talented he is at it. There are many other facets to Itachi's personality explored in the series, but I think you get the idea. The series does a pretty decent job describing who Itachi is anyway, so I doubt I need to go into much further detail. Anyway, not only do all of these factors make Itachi an admirable kid in his own right, completely disregarding the Uchiha clan massacre, it also makes the Uchiha clan massacre a much more interesting event. See, there are a lot of things worth taking into consideration here. Of course, there are all of the factors that make up Itachi's personality that I've just mentioned, but there's also the fact that he was only 14 when he was asked to wipe out his clan, and there's the additional fact that he lived to see some of the Third Shinobi World War. All of these things might not sound like a whole lot on their own, but let me explain.
Having to go through all of this at a young age, like, do you know how strong you have to be? Like, I would be messed up.
Nature is very important to keep in mind here, since introverts are obviously more disconnected than most people are from other people. I also doubt I need to tell you how smart Itachi was, even as a kid. Combine Itachi's introversion with a sharp analytical mind, and you get a kid who's got a very objective outlook on things. The Itachi Hiden novels explain that Itachi liked to watch people from a distance instead of interacting with them directly, and this gave him a much more objective view of people than you would expect him to have. The fact that Itachi studied people before developing relationships with them kept him at least partially from developing any subconscious biases. This made him much more individualistic than many of the other members of his clan. Many of his kin developed a strong blind loyalty for the Uchiha clan, but it was a loyalty that Itachi did not share. He still cared about his family, of course, but he didn't place their needs above the needs of everybody else. So when his clan ran the risk of starting a war by planning a coup against the Hidden Leaf village, it makes total sense why Itachi would oppose his father here. This is especially true when you consider, again, Itachi saw some of the Third Shinobi World War and knew how devastating war could be. Even if it was for the sake of his clan, I don't think Itachi was willing to live through another one. This put Itachi in what must have been the worst position ever to report the Uchiha's plan to the Leaf's higher-ups, but he wasn't sure if he wanted to do that because of what it might mean for his family. Of course, as you all know, he did eventually make the decision to tell Danzo, Hiruzen, and everybody else about the Uchiha's plan, but only because he had no. So he cast Koto Uematsu Kami on Itachi's father to keep the coup from happening in the first place, but Danzo ruined that when he killed Shisui and took one of his eyes. This made things even more complicated for Itachi, as I'm sure Itachi really wanted to convict Danzo of murder because he knew of his involvement in Shisui's death, but all that would do is raise tensions between the Uchiha and the Hidden Leaf village, and it would make war almost a nigh certainty. Still, the fact that Itachi was able to swallow how he personally felt about Danzo, despite his involvement in his best friend's murder, and go through with the mission that he was later given by Hiruzen and Danzo, speaks volumes about Itachi's integrity. I'm sure part of it had to do with the fact that Itachi was still a quiet and nervous kid and didn't want to go through with.
Honestly, whoa! I didn't ever put this all together and think about all this. Like, he was pissed at Danzo when he had to listen to them, and he still decided to protect all these people instead of being pissed about his friend getting killed and all of this happening. Damn, Itachi really Itachi just hit different, seriously.
Challenging such a powerful figure. But still, in his position, the last thing I would want to do is have to listen to Danzo, especially if he told me my entire clan.
The
However,
fuck? Hell
put
no.
the safety of Sasuke and the Hidden Leaf village first and decided to go through with the mission anyway. Many people question why it was necessary for Itachi to kill every single member of the Uchiha clan, but the general public didn't know about the coup that Fugaku was planning, so as far as they were aware, the Hidden Leaf and the Uchiha were on great terms. If the Hidden Leaf were to organize an attack on the Uchiha clan, it would do two things. One, it would make them look really bad for attacking the clan pretty much unprovoked, and two, if they weren't able to kill all of the Uchiha in one fell swoop, it would instantly ignite a war. Having Itachi murder all of the Uchiha while they were sleeping, and having him do so under the guise of a psychotic murderer solved both of these issues, and it would also keep Sasuke from developing any ill will towards the Hidden Leaf village. He was willing to have his life completely destroyed if it meant protecting his.
Like, he destroyed his entire reputation, everything. He threw away everything to seem like the bad guy for some shit he didn't even have anything to do with. Like, he just was the dude who had to do it. That's just messed up.
Village and his younger brother, and was even willing to go so far as to join the Akatsuki to continue working for the Leaf as a spy. Even while serving under the Akatsuki, Itachi's pacifism and humility still remained intact, as shown when he urged Kisame not to start a fight with too many people in the Leaf, not for his own benefit, but to keep from causing too much collateral damage, and furthermore by the fact that he rarely ever boasted, and if he ever did, it was to keep up the persona of a psychopath that he built for himself. Speaking of this persona, Itachi's love for Sasuke was so strong that one of his primary goals was to make this persona as dastardly as possible in order to get people to hate Itachi and hail Sasuke as a hero whenever he killed him. Itachi wanted nothing but the best for Sasuke, and felt incredibly guilty when he found out that Sasuke had learned the truth about him. He even went so far as to admit to Sasuke that he made a mistake by acting the way he had, and condemned himself for a decision that he had made 7 years earlier. I mean, if this doesn't show you how humble the guy is, I don't know what will. At this point, I'm just repeating myself in different ways, so I should probably get to the conclusion of this video, which is that Itachi's a very selfless and humble guy. I would give some supporting reasons here to make the ending a little less awkward, but I've kind of already stated everything in this video so far. I know this was a little bit shorter than the other character dissections that I've done, but Itachi doesn't have a whole lot of significance in the series outside of his interactions with Sasuke and his participation in the Uchiha clan massacre. So explaining his relationship with them is the best way to break his character down, I find anyway. Anyhow, since this series has been so successful, I'll let you guys decide which character I tackle in the next dissection video. On the the Obito video, I left a comment with the choices Madara,
Obito
Nagato,
video?
and Itachi. And since Itachi won that poll, now it's down to Madara and Nagato. Leave your votes in the comments below, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and maybe leave a like. Also, if you really
I'll like
me,
it for sure.
maybe consider checking the description for the link to my Patreon. I hate begging for money, but I mean, I do need food. And also, if you pledge to the Patreon any more than $1 at all, you get access to the patron-only Discord server. Once more people make their way in there, I'll start hosting patron Discord calls, so you guys will have that to look forward to. Anyway, yeah, I'm dragging the outro up for too long. You don't have to pledge to the Patreon, but, you know, it's there. Anyhow, thank you.
Now that we have finished this video, I know a lot more about Itachi. I mean, I knew that he did everything to protect the village and Sasuke and everything like that, but man, he just really just like slapped it in my face again about like how selfless and how just unbelievable Itachi is. Like, he's an amazing person. I mean, that's why he's my favorite character. What he did when I found out that he was a good guy and all that he had went through and how everybody had thought he was some demon and all this stuff, and how he really was a hero this entire time, that was the biggest twist I think I've ever seen in anything I've watched. I wish we actually got more screen time with Itachi. I mean, to be fair, I feel like I'm asking for a lot just because he already had got a lot of it in Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. But anyways, if you guys did enjoy my reaction to Swagkage dissecting Itachi, let me know if you guys want to see me react to any of his other videos dissecting any other characters or any of his other videos on his channel. Also, drop down any suggestions for any other anime videos that you want me to react to. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys all next time. Take care. Bye!